Welcome to the Value Seller Talks with Deepak Bajaj. Today, we are delighted to host Dr. Gopal Agrawal, Clinical Director of Pediatrics and Neonatology at Cloudnine Hospital, Gurgaon. His 18 years of experience, Dr. Gopal is a renowned neonatologist and pediatrician known for his expertise in the neonatal critical care and his numerous awards, including ESP Ghen Young Researcher Award and Young Achievers Awards. So let's delve into his journey and insights. So welcome, Dr. Gopal.
Thank you, Deepak, for having me here.
So Dr. Gopal, other than your professional achievements, we would like to know you as a person first.
Deepak, so I come from a very humble background, and my base roots are in Odisha. So I did all my primary studies, including my graduation from Odisha. So that's where I come from. From there, I moved on to my specialization in neonatology in PGI Chandigarh, and here I am in Gurgaon for last 9 years. My basic two principles in life are simplicity and honesty. That's what I believe in, and I even inculcate that principles. Basically, I'm a family man, and I have and three beautiful ladies in my house, one wife and two beautiful daughters.
Oh. You are known for the humblicity in the industry, honestly.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Gopal, you have an impressive academic background and you have won numerous awards. So, what inspired you to pursue a career in the pediatrics and the neonatology?
So, when you get into MBBS, you are actually blind. You don't know what you are facing or what you are going to do in future. But gradually, when you every year the studies actually curriculum changes, and by the third, fourth year, you get to know what are your priorities. So, suppose somebody is quite has empathy, or is quite uh, caring in nature. Probably that is a these are the values which you look in a pediatrician. So that comes naturally when you deal with, suppose somebody in surgery. Probably he'll be more aggressive, he'll be more outgoing. So probably my nature decided I'll go into pediatrics, and I didn't even think when I entered. I couldn't go back and think when I entered pediatrics. So probably third year of my graduation, I was more fascinated by pediatrics because I could see that kids don't speak their pain, but doctors actually recognize their pain and treat them. That fascinated me. And if you talk of neonatology, again, out of all the subspecialties of pediatrics, there are various subspecialties. And when I saw the outcome of the babies when they were very, very sick and they went out of an ICU, parents being happy and babies being saved, I felt this is what is medicine for. So this, I would say, both the specialties were naturally drawn to me, and I didn't get to know when I entered into neonatology.
And I just want to add here, you have a, like in a doctor we have a choice to select based on our nature, right? Based on our behavior. But I think in engineers we don't have a choice, because once we enter into that domain will become a life for the rest of the
Yeah,
time.
medicine is not so simple. Once you enter into medicine field,
Yeah.
it's a struggle. Actually, the departments, the super specialization is quite limited. So it almost like 1% of all the MBBS graduates do super specialization. So numbers actually the values actually go up. The moment you enter into a specialization post, the competition is tougher. So probably um, me entering into pediatrics and neonatology, I feel still I'm lucky that everything fell into place, but it's not so smooth. Currently, if I talk of, I entered MBBS almost 20 years back. Somebody entering today's medical field, it's not so simple. You have to work 20 times harder. What I feel today.
Agree. Every day the competition is getting tougher and
Yeah,
tougher.
like any other field.
Yeah, like everywhere, right? So, especially focusing on your love for babies, right? So, as your specialization in the care of extremely premature babies is quite a niche area. So, can you share what drew you specifically to this area, as you mentioned? But if you want to add some more points.
NICU neonatal ICU is for last 10 years is the heart and soul of my practice. So if you talk of extremely low birth weight babies, babies who are less than 1000 grams, I feel they are miracles. So we have seen miracles being happening in our centers. And if I talk of my practice, I have seen 550-grammer baby being discharged. And I am very happy when I see such babies going to school and coming back to us after 5 years. I feel the satisfaction which I get from that view, I think nothing can beat me in any other thing cannot give satisfaction. So that drives us to go care for neonates. And we know that science is evolving and even smaller babies are being survived. And what we're looking at as a unit or my practice is like, we should look at intact survival. Only making the baby survive is not the key. In NICU currently for last few years or over world over, people are looking at intact survival so that we give a baby who is brain, heart, kidneys are almost functioning like a normal baby. So that pushes me towards more of perfectionism, being perfectionist.
550 grams and less than one kg is they are very sensitive. So when we think about a NICU, right, it includes ventilation and the prenatal nutrition, so which is crucial for everything. So, but can you elaborate on the advancement, especially in the field of the science, medicines, and what challenges you are still observing?
Research and technology is always evolving. As I already told, medicine is quite vast and really updated. Every morning we see new research guidelines are coming up. So it's very necessary for us pediatricians or neonatologists who are working in intensive care to be updated so that we provide the best care to the patients or our babies. The other side, flip side of this is, of technologies, the basic principle of medicine is first do no harm. So don't harm the baby. So we have to create that balance between perfect usage of evolving technology. At the same time, we are looking at the natural aspect of the disease. So that balance is a key for neonatology and any other medicine field, I would say. But for us, definitely, because we are caring for babies who don't speak, we need to create that balance between technology and nature. So suppose I give an example, we use more of ultrasounds, which is evolved over last 10 years. We use less invasive techniques. We use more of very fine ventilation, refined ventilation nowadays. Technology is evolving. Definitely things are coming up. But at the same time, we ensure that mothers are involved. We ensure that family caretakers of the baby are involved. They're less stressed. We use more of mother's milk. So you have to balance that aggressive technology versus nature. And we have seen outcomes changing with it.
Rightly mentioned. And that balancing is the key.
Yeah. Challenges, if you talk of, particularly in developing countries like ours, two major challenges: infection rates, unwantedly, because we have a hot and humid atmosphere, infection is there with us. And compared to Western countries, basic infection rates are quite high in our countries. So newborn actually faces this challenge because they're less immune compared to others. Cost is an issue. We might tend to use more technology, more advancement, but everything comes with the cost. So we have to ensure that we are cost effective at the same time we are giving good outcome.
So rightly, Sander. And where the India, which is a mass market, so the cost plays a very important role.
You have to balance quality and quantity both.
Yes, the economies of scale should get that benefit as always. So when you say about the balance, right? So important part comes here is that you have done a lot of research publications, and many of them are published in the international journals as well. So how do you balance between a clinical practice with your researchal activities, and what is your passionate around it?
Research gives a kick to me, pushes me to learn more. If I stop reading, if I don't think much, probably I'll be stale. I'll be backwards few years ahead. So probably doing research is a key to keep reading. look around the world what people are doing, and that keeps me updated. Probably that gives a kick to me. Second is a team or an environment where there are people who are like-minded and all are looking for academics and research. So we have a team here where we have fellowship program. Probably research is a part of our curriculum, and probably that keeps us going. Two key factors which I would say push me towards research is like my basic teaching in PGI Chandigarh, where research is the thing which keeps them going. There I saw that doing research actually is the thing which should be kept at equal measure compared to clinical practice. Second is where I work, institute, Cloudnine Hospital. The founder is a neonatologist and is very keen for research. He keeps on pushing us. So probably you need, as human being, we always need some push to do things. So probably these two factors, my background and my current affiliation, helps me keeping like keep on researching. Research is the, I would say, the key to achieve more.
And how do you get a time? That's also a big question because I believe, in the NICU cases, you can get the call anytime.
See, I would say clinical practice is like you can do 24/7, but somewhere you have to balance your professional life, personal life, clinical practice versus research. You have to take that balance, and understanding that balance and achieving that balance takes some years. It took me few 3-4 years to understand that be you have to dedicate some time towards research. You cannot just push clinical practice and overlap with research. So probably, if you ask me personally, I dedicate a few, at least a half an hour or 1 hour in a day to read, just to see what I have gone through the day, some atypical cases, what is new for last 1 week, what I have left or what I have not read. Probably I read, and probably that stimulates my brain. That is key for every academician, clinician, and probably everyone in the field. Even in engineering, you have to be updated. So reading is the key, and probably getting a good family is important to understand that demand of your career or your field.
True. Because after 15, 20 years of experience, most of the professionals they lose the interest to read or to learn because that's somewhere their own resistance and own limiting belief resists them to look for some new initiatives. So thank you. It's a very important message.
Deepak, I would differ because see, particularly if you talk, I don't know about other fields, but medical field is actually evolving. I have seen vast changes over last 10 to 15 years, and things are really evolving fast. So we need to be updated, otherwise we'll be behind. So that competition also sometimes triggers you to read. So probably you need to read and you're forced to read. That helps us.
So very, very well said, and it's a very important message, not only to the medical industry, but to the all the professionals who this is a competitive market, and it remains competitive every time. I would more focus on your awards. So you have received a very prestigious awards such as ESP Gen Young Researcher Award as well as the Young Achiever Award. So how these recognition has impacted you on the professionally, personally front, and obviously your own self development.
Clinical practice is one which normally people do and they're very satisfied with. Already we have talked about research is an option for me, but research actually brought these awards. So the one which is European Society actually gave me a recognition. The other one is the Cloudnine Hospital, which across all Cloudnine 20 centers in the country, and recognized me that I've done some research work, and on pure clinical academic achievements they gave this award. So probably that gives more satisfaction. Money and fame, I would say, the byproduct of what you do or practice clinically, but I feel research and awards give me satisfaction. On the other side, it gives some recognition among your peer groups. Suppose my background is an academic college which does lots of research, and people are like, they know you have to do research because that gives a recognition. Probably you need to be almost at par with a peer group. That also keeps me going.
Yeah, you need some kick, right? As you rightly mentioned.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the triggering factors. True. So as a clinical director of Cloudnine Hospital, which is a renowned in India, so what are your key responsibilities and how you ensure that these higher standard which has been expected should be delivered?
See, as a member of Cloudnine Hospital, I have two roles here: doctor and lead consultant or a director, which you call. So, as a doctor, I ensure that I'm available for my patients, or my team is available for the patients. Availability is the key in medical field, and I'm updated. I provide the best medical to care for my patient, and I give best outcome. As on the other hand, as a lead consultant, my job is more of man management. Here you have a big team of colleagues who are almost equal to what I know of, doctors who are junior, senior, and staff nurses. I ensure that it's my job to keep them balanced, happy. At the same time, they're updated and they give a good care to the babies. And I don't want that they should be stressed, and ultimately that stress factor has an impact on the care which you provide. That's my thought process. And so I ensure that this is a very cordial atmosphere and people are happy and they go home, sleep happily, and just leave to the doctors who are on duty. And probably that gelling is what I do. I'll just act as a gel.
Which is the most important element in when you are dealing with when you have a personal emotions touch with with your clients or the patients, I should say, not clients, in fact. So that is the key to
Yeah,
remain take with them.
there, Deepak, there are burnouts in every field. Even in in engineering, there are lots of burnouts. Even in medical field, also there are burnouts. Particularly when we are working in intensive care,
Mm.
every staff, nurses, doctors, colleagues, being me, we have stresses because a patient becomes sick in a neonatal care unit. It has an impact on us
True.
emotionally, also physically, also. So we have to balance that and ensure that as a team lead, I ensure that it doesn't have a huge impact on the staff or doctors working, and that is the key. I feel that's my role.
True. Well, very well said. So the burnouts are there, the stresses are there, but yeah, to deliver in that situation is the where the experience comes from.
Yeah.
Thank you. You are associated and a member of a lot of firms, so namely National Neonatology Forum, NNF we call it, and Indian Academy of Pediatrics. So how these affiliations contribute to your personal growth and the field at large?
So both these groups are bodies of like-minded people, of pediatricians and neonatologists. So this actually acts as platform to exchange ideas. So they help us in disseminating knowledge. So as I all throughout my talk for last 20 minutes or discussion 20 minutes, I've told knowledge dissemination and exchanging ideas and keeping updated is what lies in medical field. So probably when I go for meetings, I learn from others' mistakes and also what good they have done. Probably I try to inculcate the same thing in my team, in my practice, and probably I see the outcomes. Also, I would say these bodies actually help us in formulating guidelines because you cannot read each and every article published in medical field. Probably the people sit down and make guidelines that makes our life easier. Also, they also ensure that fellowship programs are ongoing so that our academic activities are being pushed by the such bodies. So I would say, in a way, it's a give and take thing. So we share our knowledge, we take something from other people, and these bodies are actually real platforms for the such dissemination of knowledge.
Right, right. Give and take is the key. So the people will it's ready to give you when you give them a more, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So and that's a win-win situation in every domain. Right. Uh, when we look at your academics, so you were a gold medalist during your MBBS days. So can you share some tips on maintaining this academic excellence while balancing other responsibilities?
See, Deepak, this is a difficult question. So I would say just one word for that. You need to be hardworking. So medical field, I don't know about engineering field because I've not I don't have any family member or any close friend who discusses with me about engineering. But medical field, you have a tough curriculum. Every year you have to read about different organ of the body, different aspects of the body, and because we deal as a body as a whole, we
Yeah.
cannot ignore any department. So every year the curriculum is huge. So probably I would be happy if few good people sit down and cut down on the curriculum, but it's tough at this point. So I would say during my MBBS days, I don't remember, it's 2 decades back, but I used to almost read for 12 hours a day, and almost 70 to 80% of the year. And that became a habit. Probably I made the best use of library in my life during my MBBS years. So it's really difficult, and you have to at the same time you need to know the theoretical aspects. At the same point, you need to have practical clinical practice also. So there your basics of practice actually starts. So you have to balance that hard work, continuity of what you're doing, and at the same time clinical practice also.
Very well said. And 80% of the time that become a habit, and that
Yeah, it becomes a habit.
becomes a habit. Very rightly said. Uh, so, what are your views on the future of neonatology and pediatrics in India? And are there any emerging trends or technologies that you are particularly excited about?
See, I have been practicing neonatology for last 10 to 12 years. And believe me, I feel the prospects of neonatology is quite bright in pediatrics and neonatology. Why I'm saying this? Because 10 years back, if you talk of an ICU in a small tier 2, tier 3 cities, it was almost non-existent. Currently, if I go back and see places like Ahmedabad or Lucknow or Kanpur or any small place, there are lots of NICUs competing among themselves. That's a good, healthy competition because ultimately uh, babies need care, and most of the babies can be handled at such places. And so I would say spreading of neonatal practice to tier 2, tier 3 cities is the achievement what I've seen in last few years. If you talk of advances, which I am probably excited about, yes, there are lots of advances. Probably TeleNICU is one thing which Cloudnine itself is promoting, where we sit at a place and we try to mentor a NICU situated at a very remote place through video on audio calls. So we give our expertise and probably we are helping them out in difficult scenarios. Probably that is the key which might come up in next few years. The other thing is AI, as in other fields. Probably AI is coming up in neonatology also. So I have last few weeks back I read about use of AI in detection of infection. Probably I can see next few years AI is coming up. The other thing is transport of babies. So probably lifting up babies from a tier 2 or tier 3 cities who need care to advanced NICU has become very easy over last few years. So these are the advances and probably few things which excite me.
Right, right. And you rightly mentioned the name of AI and these advanced technologies. That is the game changer.
Yeah.
Uh, with such a demanding career, so how do you manage your balance between your personal and a professional life?
Again, it's a tricky question. So I would say it takes some time to understand that you have to create a balance. So I would say when I started practicing neurology, it took almost 4 years for me to understand that. So unknowingly, you give more time into clinical practice because you need good outcome, but somewhere you need to take care of your family also, and definitely it takes some bite of that personal time. For that, I'm quite lucky to have a good family, and being my wife being a medical professional, she understands the demand of my field or career, and probably that is pushing me because somebody is understanding family background and family support is very essential to create that balance. So, and probably I also have few burnouts or stresses. Breaks, vacations helps me out. So I ensure that every alternate month I take some break, spend time only with the family. Uh, that probably keeps me going.
I should say that's the key mantra which you have shared. Take some breaks that to if you want
Yeah,
to
yeah, definitely.
far.
See, yeah. spending time with family and kids, probably not get back this time. So I understand that, and I ensure that I give some time to the family.
That's a great piece of advice. Thank you. I understand you have a the shorter time, so I will directly come on to the last question. So, what advice you would like to give to the medical students and the young doctors who aspire to specialize themselves in the pediatrics and the neonatology?
So my advice would be the future is bright. There are few five keywords if people need: hard work, selflessness, empathy, honesty, and team spirit. This is what I've learned over the last few years. So if you have five aspects of this, you have a bright future. There's no shortcut to success or certain achievement. You have to be hardworking and you have to be empathy to have a future in pediatrics. So I would say, again, usage of social media or keeping updated oneself and usage of people across you will help you out. So, but I feel future is bright for medical professionals in India because there's no brain drain over last 10 years. I don't see neonatal specialists going back to US or Europe to practice. People are coming back because there are lots of opportunities. So grab the opportunities and work hard, and you have a bright future.
The five traits that you mentioned is the key to success.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect balance also. If
So
someone
you have to create a balance. Yeah.
So thank you, Dr. Gopal, for sharing your incredible journey and insight with us. Today, your dedication to neonatology as well as pediatric is truly inspiring, and your contribution is always been invaluable in the industry. So thank you so much for your time and for your presence.
Yeah. Thank you, Deepak, for giving an opportunity for being on this platform. And it's a pleasure to be talking to you and dwelling into my personal life and professional life. Thank you.
This is all us. Thank you. So until next time, this is Deepak Bajaj signing off. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.